So of course, they drop a Natlan trailer, a big time trailer, right after I make a Natlan video, cause why not? Not even 24 hours later. I did say it was gonna come soon, but I didn't think it was gonna be that soon. Anyways, I'm not complaining. We got a lot of information, a lot of direct information, and a lot of subtle things that I noticed in the trailer. So in this video, I'm gonna be doing a complete Natlan breakdown, the characters we've been shown, different aspects about them, the story, the plot, the tournament arc, what that actually means, and some things about Natlan and its past that I want to talk about. Kachina, who is that chibi character we've seen in the other trailer. She is going to be a Geo element and a polearm user apparently. Probably one of the free characters we might get, similar to Lynette when Fontaine dropped. Milani, who is said to be a Hydro Catalyst user. And early leaks already suggest she might rival Neuvillette for crazy Catalyst Hydro DPS. Kinich, who is said to be a Dendro Claymore user, and he had a little companion named Aja, who is like a 2D sprite little dragon. And I'm assuming this guy will be able to follow you around, kind of like the little octopus we got in the last anniversary event. Katali, who will be a Cryo Element and Catalyst user. Zionon, who actually has the perfect Aztec Jaguar references already. She sort of actually looks like Dia, and will be a Geo Sword user. Isan, who we saw in the original Teyvat trailer since 1.0, we actually don't know this character's element or weapon, but I'm assuming she'll probably be Pyro. My personal favorite character of the trailer, Chaska, who looks badass, will also have a Cryo element and be a bow user. I'm assuming she'll be the 5-star Cryo, while Katali will be the 4-star Cryo Catalyst. She also has some elf ears, giving her links to the same race as Klee, her mother, Layla, and the Rooster. Oron was another character seen standing beside Capitano. We don't actually know the element or the weapon, but I'm assuming because he looks like an emo edgelord, he'll probably be an Animo user. All Animo boys have that edgy, depressed look on their face, so I don't see why Genshin would break that trend now. We're already 4 years in. Mauka, the character that we see actually looking like they're hosting the tournament, is said to be a Pyro element and a Claymore user. I'm honestly almost 100% this is the Pyro Archon as well. And I know she has a bit of an odd aesthetic for Natlan, but actually I think it makes perfect sense, and I'm going to get into that in a second. Then obviously we have the GOAT himself, Capitano, and we don't know his vision or element, but I'm assuming he basically runs off of pure testosterone. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but we got 2 new Cryo characters coming out. Shenhe hasn't had a freaking rerun in 20,000 years, and we're getting Emily in 4.8, which is a new type of meta burn mechanic. I think Melt meta is going to be a key part of Natlan and get a big buff this whole region. We're also getting 2 new Geo characters, which is cool. Hopefully they don't turn Geocat Natlan Dia into a standard 5-star and butcher her the way they did Dia. We can only hope that they don't make that mistake again. Gosh, I shouldn't have even said that out loud. My apologies. I'm going to go knock on wood right now. But yeah, I think Melt and Burn is going to be a big part of the new meta, and the captain, I honestly hope, for all I care, I just hope they make him the next big physical DPS unit. We haven't had a physical DPS since Eula, and he would honestly be the perfect fit for it. Just brutally strong, use physical damage to just pulverize anything and anyone in its path. I'm okay with that. And there's one more character from Natlan we didn't get shown actually in this trailer, Cheblanque. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Neuvillette already referenced this character, who is said to be one entombed with the Primordial Fire, which we seen at the end of the trailer. I'm assuming this is the Primordial Fire, and this is the prize of winning the tournament. It seems to be of some importance. So if he is linked to this Primordial Fire, I'm assuming he might be the Dragon Sovereign or something along those lines. Now, as for the actual tournament itself, all the characters seem a little bit reluctant to actually participate. All of the characters we were shown, obviously from different tribes. I'm assuming each tribe has to have at least one member competing. The passing of the ball means that it's that time of year again, and I think this is an annual event. The way that the character who is hosting the tournament, most likely the Pyro Archon, and the captain actually interact, I'm assuming they either have an arranged deal, or being the god of war, she is intrigued on what he can do. Excited at the prospect of seeing him in action, hoping he joins a tournament, and I'm assuming his conditions are going to be getting the Gnosis. Obviously, that's what the Fatui are always after. But will the captain actually assist Natlan in whatever crisis or problems are going on in that region, or is he going to be the cause of it? Are the Fatui going to be a headache in Natlan, or are they actually going to help out, kind of like in Fontaine with the flooding? This guy has so much clout already, it's not even funny. Anytime anyone gets a chance to talk about him, they talk about how powerful and honorable he actually is. He's brutally strong, he has a reputation for defeating gods, but Arlecchino straight up says he deserves respect despite his power, meaning he's got some morals and he's a decent individual. So I don't think he's going to be causing bullshit behind the scenes, and I don't think he's there to play games. However, we were not teased anything with Colombina or Dodori, but I would not worry about that. Xbalanque was also not shown in the trailer, and he's an important character in Natlan as well. I was not expecting them to show all 3 Harbingers if they're going to show up. But why are they hosting this tournament? Like, what does the tournament do? Where's the war? Well, I think that's it. And I have a bit of a theory cooking up here, but I think Vanessa's tribe left Natlan under the old Pyro Archon, because I think back in the day, war did ravage the land. I think it was kill or be killed in Natlan. War was really the theme, not a tournament. And Natlan's tribe turned into nomads and left Natlan, traveled all across Teyvat for years, found themselves in Mondstadt generations later, but Ursa the Drake, a powerful dragon in Mondstadt, attacked her clan and they ran and sought refuge into the city of Mondstadt where the rich nobles enslaved them. And Vanessa, never even being raised in Natlan, was an undefeated gladiator. I guess it's just in the genes when you come from Natlan. And I'm honestly thinking the original Pyro Archon was still the Archon during that time, because Venti always goes for these 1,000-year-long sleeps, and I'm thinking there was a change of hands. But during Vanessa's time, I think it was still the original Pyro Archon, which is why he references Marata. But since then, there's obviously been a change of hands, or at least it would seem like it, because now the nation seems to run a bit differently. I don't see any other logical reason her entire clan would have left Natlan and lived in the wilderness as nomads for generations unless the country or the nation was in a constant state of war. That would make much more sense. I think the tournament was a way for these tribes to stop fighting and settle their grievances in a much more controlled manner that doesn't tear the nation apart. But generations later, it's a much more diluted tournament that people are reluctant to participate in. Some more evidence to this is there was a legendary hero in Natlan named Tenok, who was a battle-hardened warrior that existed before the creation of Mara Javari over 1,000 years ago, and he wielded a giant obsidian club, and he created a fellowship of 6 warriors from each of the 6 major tribes, which was unknown at that time, but he actually belonged to none of these tribes. And in order to fight against the calamity of the turbid black tide, a growing threat on Natlan's border, he assembled this team of different tribe members, probably the strongest members of each tribe, and they were successful, but it is allegedly said that he died in the heroic battle, which gave the creation of Mara Javari, a place known as Hell on Earth where the wind does not blow, a place of ash and death. Honestly, this place sounds a lot like a Natlan version of Dragonspine, but with ash, volcano, lava, and it'll just be a very hostile and harsh environment. Also, it is said that a phoenix dwells within this area, and only very few adventurers have ever stepped foot and lived to tell the tale. I do believe Bennett's parents being one of them, since he is actually from Natlan, and his parents were said to perish in the worst place in Teyvat. Sounds a lot like Mara Javari. And then these adventurers that discovered Bennett as a boy or baby took him in, and then he was raised in Mondstadt. But the reason I say all this is because it looked like in the trailer, this character turned into a phoenix, and because we think she's the Pyro Archon, or the most likely to be the current Pyro Archon hosting the tournament, it looked like she transformed into a phoenix right before she approached Capitano, where they had their little brief encounter. Now, if there's a phoenix dwelling within the Mara Javari, could that be the location where the previous Pyro Archon, possibly Marata, perished? And if so, was Tenok and the 6 other tribe members the people who actually killed the previous Pyro Archon to put an end to the war that ravaged the land? And is that why Vanessa's tribe left and they bailed? Also, who is Tenok exactly? I'll save that for another video because that is a huge theory that I'm cooking up as we speak. Another inclination that this is the Pyro Archon is that this character's leaked to be releasing in 4.2, which is around the same time that most Archons release in their regions. But with all of that said, what are your thoughts on Natlan so far? What are your thoughts on this trailer? Which character got you the most excited? I have seen a lot floating around that Natlan was supposed to be the region of war, ash, and flame, yet we're getting a Crash Bandicoot / Pokemon crossover. But honestly, I think that's the entire point of Natlan. I think Natlan was very much a war-torn country and nation in its past, and it's moved forward to avoid that, but it's still the nation of war. So this tournament is a way to have that war in a controlled manner that isn't so detrimental to the tribes in the country, and everyone can live prosperous lives. I think this tournament though is an obligation, which is why the characters don't seem very pumped about it. Similar to how Leo weighs the nation a contract. You can't just get rid of the contract. And I think the current Pyro Archon, this was her way of keeping the theme of war and doing away with the actual war that the predecessor or the previous or original Pyro Archon probably had under Celestia when they gained the Gnosis in the first place. Maybe the tournament is a way to select a possible new candidate for a Pyro Archon. But hopefully, none of these new characters that were shown that you really like have to go up against this guy in the tournament, or they're going to turn into a corpse. It's guaranteed. I'm not going to elaborate too much else on the Fatui, Project Stuja, and all of that stuff in this video because I just wanted to talk about the trailer and some possible connections I've made, but I do have a theory coming up about the captain, the origins of Natlan, and where he probably comes from, so I'm going to be making that very soon. Stay tuned for that, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Which characters were you most excited about to possibly pull and save for? What are you most looking forward to in Natlan? Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and as always, we will see you all in the next one. Later.